Hey everyone, it's Brian with Inspiring How You See That, and we figured it was time for another one of our top 12 favorite lists. And this time I'm going to look at my favorite TV shows. As always, I don't really limit myself to any kind of genre or style, so I'm just going to kind of go into my favorite shows. Again, like I've said in some of the other videos, I'm not going to pretend to be some kind of expert or I use some kind of scientific formula to determine this, and everybody has their own opinion. This is my opinion of the best 12 shows that I've ever seen. I love to watch television shows. Actually, I probably watch them a lot more than film. I just like the continuity, the story going out. There's a ton of shows, I will put some up on the screen behind me, of ones that I love that didn't quite make this top 12. So hopefully you enjoy it, and let me know what you think. So we'll jump right in. Number 12, and this one's kind of a goofy comedy, but I absolutely loved it, is My Name Is Earl. This show, I believe it was on Fox. It stars Jason Lee, Ethan Embry, and Jamie Presley. And it's one of the funniest, stupid shows I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's one of those ones you don't have to think very hard to watch My Name Is Earl. You just sit back and enjoy it and laugh. It's hysterical. It's basically this, down on his luck loser that finds out about karma, and he decides that he's going to make up for all the ills that he's done to people in his life. And it's absolutely hysterical. So if you get a chance, check out My Name Is Earl. I think it's on Hulu. So if you haven't seen it, check that out. Number 11 is SEAL Team. This stars David Boreanaz. I love this show. It's just what it sounds like. It's like Navy SEALs, and David Boreanaz plays the unit leader of the Navy SEAL unit, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's filled with action. It delves into their personal lives with their family, their relationship with each other, and it's an intense show. I love those military movies and shows, and this one gets right into the thick of it. So I highly recommend watching SEAL Team. Number 10 is CSI, and I've kind of lumped them all in. Like, there's CSI, the original, which is based in Vegas, which is my favorite, and there's CSI New York and CSI Miami, and there's Cyber. There's a bunch out there that I probably haven't watched, but I'll kind of focus on the original one, which is based in Vegas. That show's great. I love those investigative type of shows, and that one really kind of started it. It stars William Peterson and Marge Helgenberger. There was a lot of people coming and going, so I don't believe either of them were on the full time, but they were there for most of it, and really when it was at its best. So again, that kind of set the stage for the investigative, episodic kind of show that we see all the time now. And I think it did it best. I absolutely love CSI. It can be a little gory, a little scary, but it's a great show. Moving to number 9 is Hawaii Five-0. Now, that's the remake, not the original. That's the one starring Alex O'Loughlin and Scott Conn. Very similar to CSI. Actually, it's almost the exact same formula, but it's based in Hawaii. Another great show that's action-packed, delves into the lives of these police officers, these investigators. Great acting, great scenery, great locales that they have. Phenomenal show. Moving on to number 8. This one is one that I didn't think I would like, and I absolutely fell in love with, is Dexter. It's weird that you find yourself rooting for a serial killer. It's very disturbing to come to that realization. But God, this show is phenomenal. It stars Michael C. Hall as the lead character Dexter. Jennifer Carpenter plays his sister, who is also a police detective. And long story short, he has always had this psychotic side to him where he felt that he wanted to kill, but his father and him kind of channeled that into he only kills other people that have killed and people who deserve it. I know it sounds weird, and it is, but it's a fantastic show. I mean, you just get sucked in and you want to see what happens next. So check out Dexter. It's not one for the kids, but if you're an adult and you want to see a great story, Dexter's awesome. Number 7 is one that would have ranked much higher after the first few years and has really started to go downhill since, and that's Walking Dead. Walking Dead stars Andrew Lincoln, who is no longer on the show, and Norman Reedus, who still is. And the first couple years, particularly the first year, was television gold. I mean, that is kind of started the resurgence into the zombie genre that we see now. And it really was action-packed and story-driven and fantastic. The problem I have with it is after, say, 4th or 5th season, it's really started to go downhill. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. It's not that it's a bad show now, but it's nowhere near what it was. And I think it's overcomplicated now. I mean, most of the characters you loved are gone. And by the nature of the story, I get that. But now, the set of characters has expanded so much, and you feel like you're expected to care about these people, and you just don't. And it's almost to the point that the zombies are secondary. They're not really a threat anymore. And I hope that they bring it back to what it was, because it was an absolutely phenomenal show, and now it's kind of like, it's okay. So, we're hoping Walking Dead gets better. Number 6, 24. 24 was awesome, starring Kiefer Sutherland as Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer is like the man. I mean, this is, espionage, spy, counterterrorism at its absolute best. 24 is action-packed, and it's each season is a different storyline, revolving around Jack Bauer, but it's set to be all within a 24-hour period. Phenomenal concept and an absolutely amazing show that I don't know if they'll be able to replicate, really, and kind of get what it was that first time. Now we're headed into the top 5. This one is currently on. It's a comedy, and I love this show. It's the Goldbergs. That show is absolutely hysterical. It stars Sean Giambrone and Wendy McLendon-Covey. You might remember her from Reno 911. She was one of the police officers in that comedy. This show is so freaking funny. It's set in the 80s in Jenkintown, PA, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. And I laugh. I mean, all the characters are so perfectly written and perfectly casted, from Wendy as the mother to Sean as the youngest kid. And you've got the grandfather, who's absolutely hysterical. The dad is... The whole show, it keeps me in stitches every time I watch it. I love that show. Number 3 is another comedy. It's kind of my guilty pleasure, and it's Letterkenny. I love Letterkenny. It's a Canadian comedy, basically based on this farm town, this hick town of Letterkenny, Ontario. And it follows the main characters of Wayne, who's played by Jared Keeson, his sister, who's played by Michelle Milat, and Nathan Dales, who plays his best friend, Derry. And oh my god, this show is so freaking fun. Again, it's not one you want to watch with the kids, because the language is a little colorful. But I watched the first episode thinking this is going to be stupid. And by episode 3, I was binge watching every season. I mean, it is absolutely hysterical. It makes fun of anything and everyone. But it just, I can't help. I have tears coming out when I watch it. I actually, right before the whole lockdown with COVID, I went up to London, Ontario, and I saw Letterkenny live. That's where I got this shirt, and it was a live show based on, and it was, most of the cast was there. And I had the opportunity afterwards actually to hang out with the cast and spend time with them, and they all were amazing. Jared Keeso was one of the nicest guys I met. He's also an executive producer of the show. He created it. What a blast. What a true group of amazing people, awesome actors, funny as can be. Again, it's on Hulu, and if you get the chance to watch Letterkenny, you are going to love it. Trust me. Number 2, best comedy of all time, the comedy series The Office. And I'm talking about the US version. I know a lot of people prefer the UK version, and it is funny. I don't think it touches Michael Scott. Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, was so freaking funny. When he left the show, it was still good, but it wasn't the same. I think he left like season 7. But oh my god, it's so quotable, so relatable. I mean, in addition to Steve Carell, it stars John Krasinski and Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson plays Dwight Schrute, who anybody who's seen it and has worked in an office, there's somebody that has the characteristics of Dwight Schrute. Maybe not to the extent, but oh my, that show is just absolutely funny. It's one of those shows I'll put on as I'm falling asleep, and I'll just kind of watch it and laugh and then just doze off because I love it that much. And now we're to my number 1 television show of all time. And this is a show that before I watched it, I saw commercials for it. I saw the DVD at the store, and I thought that looks like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Who wants to watch a show about a biker gang? It sounds so stupid. And it's called Sons of Anarchy. My God, was I wrong. That show was amazing. It starred Charlie Hunnam as the main character, Jax. Ron Perlman played the president of Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club. And Katie Seagal was Ron's wife and Jax's mother, Gemma. Literally the best way I can describe Sons of Anarchy, it's like a soap opera for dudes. It is absolutely amazing. I was hooked in that show from episode 1. The storytelling, the acting, the music. The music is probably the best I've ever heard on television. I mean, I bought the albums. That's where I found out about White Buffalo. He did a lot of the music. The music was phenomenal. It set the stage for everything. You've got to watch Sons of Anarchy. Again, can be kind of violent, so you probably don't want young kids. But oh man, what a story. And it's one of the few shows that at the end, they wrapped everything up and you actually had a conclusion. And I love when shows do that. So many shows end, you're like, what the heck happened? Sons of Anarchy, may have been a little rushed, but they tied up all the loose ends and it was awesome. So watch Sons of Anarchy, watch these other shows. If you guys know of any shows that you think I left off that deserve to be on here, I know there's going to be people saying Breaking Bad or, The Sopranos, whatever it may be. Let me know. Let me know what your favorite shows are. Curious to see what Kevin's going to come up with. And as always, we are so pumped to have you guys here. We love you. God bless. And rock on.